Now that you've recorded your memories, it's time to preserve them. For most people, preserving only involves taking the completed tape out of the camcorder, switching the protective tab, labeling the tape, and storing it on a shelf. When the tape is watched later, they might see things that they really never wanted to record in the first place, like the floor, the inside of a camcorder bag, or something completely inappropriate. This section shows you how to preserve only the memories you want. This is done through the process of editing.
There are several ways to edit video. This DVD covers 4. The first and least expensive way is to edit with your camcorder. Though this is the least expensive, it is the most difficult to do. The second is to edit with the VCR. The camcorder is used for playback, which is connected to a VCR that re-records the video you want to keep. The third is to edit with a DVD recorder. Again, the camcorder is used for playback, which is connected to a DVD recorder that re-records the video you want to keep. The fourth is to use a computer, an editing software. A computer will allow you to make cuts, add titles, create fun effects, and burn your final movie to a DVD.
With every type of editing, there are positives and negatives. With the help of this DVD, you can decide which is right for you. This section could probably be titled Shooting Without Errors. Editing with a camcorder is difficult and can involve a lot of reviewing and reshooting, but once the shot is done, you're finished. You label the tape, protect it, and start the next tape.
There are several key points to editing with your camcorder. First, if you are using manual mode, you need to be very familiar with your camcorder, how to focus, white balance, adjust the aperture, and be able to access specific functions quickly. Second, you need to completely set up each shot before you press record. Make sure all settings are correct and everyone is in place before recording. Third, you need to be very good at holding the camcorder steady. Finally, if you think you messed up, you have to stop recording, rewind the tape, and see if what you shot is worth keeping. If it's not, you rewind again to the point where you want to start taping and tape over what you just recorded.
Even if you choose this editing method, you should still have your tapes transferred to DVD. This way, you'll have your original as backup. Plus, you won't have to plug your camcorder into the TV every time you want to watch your movies. Since most people would prefer to be allowed some degree of error, we recommend you choose from one of the other methods coming up next on In My Life. This section teaches you how to use a VCR to edit your home movies. Though most of you still might have a VCR, the quality isn't nearly as good as you'll get from a DVD. Plus, a DVD will last longer than most VHS tapes, and before too long, they'll stop making VCRs altogether. Even if you edit with the VCR, you should still consider preserving the final edited VHS tape to a DVD.
Though all VCRs are different, they all have these basic functions: record, playback, pause, stop, rewind, and fast forward. And these are the only ones that are going to be discussed on this DVD. Since most camcorder tapes won't record more than an hour of video at the highest quality, and a standard length blank VCR tape holds 2 hours of video at the highest recording quality, you'll want to have several hours of recorded video before you start editing.
The first thing you'll need to do is to connect your camcorder to your VCR. If you purchased your camcorder new, it should have come with audio-video cables. If it didn't, these cables are available for sale at most stores that carry electronics, or through the internet.
Insert the cable in the input marked AV in out or AV out. As always, consult your user manual for specific instructions. Next, connect the other ends to the red, white, and yellow audio-video inputs on the VCR. Next, insert the tape into the camcorder and rewind it. While the camcorder tape is rewinding, you can put your blank VHS tape into the VCR. Make sure that the recording speed is set to the standard play or SP mode to allow for 2 hours of video and the best quality for VHS tapes. A small notepad and pen will be useful for recording times, and if you have them, you'll probably want to use both the VCR and camcorder remotes. On an analog camcorder, make sure the counter is set to 0. Press play on the camcorder remote and watch what you've taped on the television. If there's no image on the TV, try pushing the input button on the VCR remote until the camcorder image appears. If there's still no image, the camcorder may not be connected correctly to the VCR. As you watch the video, note the counter time on the camcorder. If you see something you want edited out, write the start and end times on a piece of paper. If you have a computer, you may want to note these times in a spreadsheet, so you'll know exactly how much total time will be needed on a specific tape.
Once you've watched the tape through completely, rewind it. Once it's rewound, you're ready to start editing.
Unplug the yellow video cable and press the record button on the VCR and allow it to record a black screen for 10 seconds. This is called a lead-in and should be included at the beginning of all videos. Once the counter on the VCR is at 10 seconds, press the VCR pause button to stop recording and reconnect the video cable. The image on the TV is what will be recorded. If the TV screen is showing the same display as your camcorder screen, try pushing the display button on your camcorder remote. You won't want this on your edited video. If you're using an analog camcorder and the date and time is showing on the TV, there is no way to remove it. However, on a digital camcorder, there should be an option to remove it from appearing on the screen. Though it might seem like a good idea to always display the date and time, it's more of a distraction and takes away from the movie watching experience. Press the play button on your camcorder. Once the camcorder counter reaches the point where you want to start recording, press the VCR pause button to start the VCR recording. When the camcorder tape reaches a section you want to edit out, press VCR pause again to stop the VCR from recording.
If there's a long section you want edited out, you can fast forward the camcorder tape to the point where you wish to start recording again. Not only will this take you less time to edit, but most VCRs will go into standby mode after a few minutes when paused, and that will disrupt your editing session.
Once you have captured all the camcorder video onto the VHS tape, press VCR pause to stop recording, unplug the yellow video cable, and press VCR pause again and let the VCR record 5 seconds of black screen. This is to allow for queuing up the VCR tape for the next time you wish to edit. You'll want to continue this process until the VCR tape is almost full, about 1 hour and 59 minutes on the VCR counter. Then you'll want to press VCR pause to stop recording. Unplug the yellow video cable and press VCR pause again until the tape runs out, but no more than 30 seconds. This is called a lead out and should be included at the end of all videos. When the video is ejected, clearly label it with the content of the edited VHS tape. It is essential that you pop out the protective tab to prevent someone from accidentally taping over it.
It's also a good idea to make a copy, which can be done by hooking 2 VCRs together. If you don't have 2 VCRs, try to borrow one long enough to make backup copies. Remember that the copy won't be as clear as the original, so when making backup copies, use the original every time. Though this method can save you money, especially since you might already have a VCR, the quality and longevity isn't nearly as good as you'll get from a good DVD recorder. Plus, before too long, they'll stop making VCRs and VHS tapes altogether. Like everything else, DVD recorders come in a wide variety and range in price from around $100 to thousands of dollars. Should you spend thousands of dollars to preserve your family memories? No, but you should be cautious about buying the cheapest model available. After all, you do get what you pay for. When buying a DVD recorder, you want to buy it from a retail store that has a return policy. If you don't like the results, you don't want to be stuck with it.
Another thing with DVD recorders is that you have to buy discs that are compatible with your particular DVD recorder.
Even though you purchase discs that are recommended for your DVD recorder, it's still a good idea to record a couple of test DVDs and play them through entirely on a different DVD player to make sure that the discs will play through without locking up or pixelization. If you encounter problems while watching the discs, it could be bad discs, but chances are the DVDs aren't entirely compatible with the recorder.
Always consult your user manual to see which discs are best for your DVD recorder.
Though all DVD recorders are different, they all record, playback, pause, and have some type of rendering or finalization process. And these are the only ones that will be discussed on this DVD, though there could be many more features available depending on your specific DVD recorder.
Here are a few advantages of DVD recorders over VCRs. You can have a different title for each section that you want to label. You can create chapter breaks every few minutes to allow you to skip quickly forward and backward. With a computer and the right software, you can personalize labels for the top of the DVD. Multiple copies can be made quickly with no loss in quality. Since most camcorder tapes won't record more than an hour of video at the highest quality, and a standard blank non-dual layer DVD holds 2 hours of video at the standard recording quality, you'll want to have several hours of recorded video before you start editing.
The first thing you'll need to do is connect the camcorder to the DVD recorder. If you purchased your camcorder new, it should have come with audio-video cables. If not, these cables are available for sale at most stores that carry electronics or on the internet.
Insert the cable in the input marked AV in out or AV out. As always, consult your user manual for specific instructions. Next, connect the other ends to the red, white, and yellow audio-video inputs on the DVD recorder. If your camcorder has an S-video out, you may want to connect this cable to the S-video in of the DVD recorder for an improved picture quality.
Some newer recorders will allow you to connect the camcorder using a FireWire cable and will provide you with the best results.
Next, insert the tape into the camcorder and rewind it. While the camcorder tape is rewinding, you'll need to put a blank DVD disc into the recorder. Make sure the recording speed is set to the standard or SP mode to allow for 2 hours of video. Though most DVD recorders give you an option to improve the quality of the video somewhat by reducing the time available for recording to just 1 hour, you must compare the slight increase in quality over the extra cost and the extra room that they will take up on the shelf. A small notepad and pen will be useful for recording times, and if you have them, you'll probably want to use both the DVD recorder and camcorder remotes. On an analog camcorder, make sure the counter is set to 0. Press play on the camcorder remote and watch what you've taped on the television. If there is no image on the TV, try pushing the input button on the DVD remote until the camcorder image appears. If there is still no image, the camcorder may not be connected correctly to the DVD recorder. As you watch the video, note the counter time on the camcorder. If you see something you want edited out, write the start and end times on a piece of paper. If you have a computer, you may want to note these times in a spreadsheet, so you'll know exactly how much total time will be needed on a specific tape.
Once you've watched the tape through completely, rewind it. Once it's rewound, you're ready to start editing.
Next, unplug the video cable and press the record button on the DVD recorder and allow it to record a black screen for 10 seconds. This is called a lead-in and should be included at the beginning of all videos. Once the counter on the recorder is at 10 seconds, press the DVD recorder pause button to stop recording and reconnect the video cable. The image on the TV is what will be recorded. If the TV screen is showing the same display as your camcorder screen, try pushing the display button on your camcorder remote. You won't want this on your edited video. If you're using an analog camcorder and the date and time is showing on the TV screen, there is no way to remove it. However, on a digital camcorder, there should be an option to remove it from appearing on the TV screen. Though it might seem like a good idea to always display the date and time, it's more of a distraction and takes away from the movie watching experience. Press the play button on your camcorder. Once the camcorder counter reaches the point where you want to start recording, press the DVD recorder pause button again to start recording. Once the camcorder tape reaches a section you want to edit out, press the DVD recorder pause button again to stop the DVD recorder from recording.
If there's a long section you want edited out, fast forward the camcorder tape to the point you wish to start recording again. Remember, With a DVD recorder, you can have sections of video called titles. So if you have finished a section, press the DVD recorder pause button. Unplug the video cable and press the recorder button on the recorder and allow it to record a black screen for 5 seconds. This is called a lead-out and should be included at the end of all titles. Then press the DVD recorder stop button. This will complete the title. You'll continue this process until the DVD is full, about 1 hour and 59 minutes on the counter.
Next, you will want to label your titles for the menu. Most DVD recorders allow you to do this, and some will even let you select a frame from the video to be included on the DVD menu. After the disc is prepared, you'll want to render or finalize it. Consult your user manual for exact instructions for preparing the disc to be played on DVD players. Once the DVD is finalized, you'll want to watch it through in its entirety on a DVD player, not your DVD recorder. This is to ensure there are no problems with either the disc or the way it was edited. If there were no problems, you need to mark the disc to show that this is the master recording. You can write a description on the disc with a soft tip pen, or if you have a computer and the right software, you can create personalized labels for the top of the DVD. Be cautious when using a sticky label. It must be placed exactly on the center of the DVD. If it is slightly off center, the DVD may not play correctly during playback. Keep in mind, there are printers that will allow you to print directly to special discs, eliminating the problem with sticky labels.
Though DVDs are superior to VHS tapes in many ways, discs are more fragile than a tape and must always be handled with care and always stored in a protective case. This may all seem like a lot of work, but it's well worth it to make sure that your memories aren't lost forever. Of course, you could hire a production company to do this for you, but editing is very expensive, and they probably won't produce the personal touches that you can get by doing this yourself. Most computers have some sort of editing software already installed or available for purchase. Though this section covers a lot about editing with the computer, we won't specifically show you how to edit because each editing suite has more differences than similarities. So this section will focus on what can be achieved when editing with the computer.
Here are a few features you can look forward to when editing video with a computer. Video can be captured from a digital camcorder electronically with virtually no loss in quality. Once the video is captured, it can easily be separated into clips varying from date shot, to every few minutes, to every time you press the record button. You can add effects like transitions between clips, full screen titles, title overlays, still images, enhanced still images,
special effects and background music, and credits, just to name a few.
You can create menus that will allow you to instantly access different sections in the movie. Though most computers might be capable of editing video, to edit 2 hours of video with effects, you need to have at least a 3 GHz processor, 1 GB of RAM, 40 GB available on your hard drive, and a good 256 MB graphics card.
Please remember that these are general recommendations. It's a good idea to consult with a computer specialist who can help you decide what type of computer you'll need and can recommend editing software suited for your specific purposes. If you already have a computer specialist can advise which software will work best with your system or help you with an upgrade.
If you're just learning how to use a computer, you'll want to select software that is very easy to work with. When you first start the software, look for a tutorial or quick start option. If you're fairly comfortable with a computer, you may want to go with software that is more of a challenge. If you have the time and money, most towns have training centers nearby that can teach you how to use most editing software.
When your computer is ready to edit, the first thing you'll need to do is transfer video from your camcorder. Here are a few rules to follow when transferring video.
If your camcorder is digital, you'll want to make sure the computer has a FireWire port. This will allow you to transfer your video digitally. If you have an analog camcorder, you will need an analog to digital converter. Always transfer at the highest quality. This will take up more space on your hard drive, but you will be able to delete the files when the video is transferred to DVD.
For digital camcorders, the software should recognize when the tape has stopped playing, but for analog camcorders, you'll have to stop the transfer process manually.
When transferring digital video, have the software detect scenes. This will separate the video into a clip for each time you pressed the record button, which will be very helpful when you want to include a transition from one scene to another.
When you've transferred all your video, it's time to start editing. This can be a fun but tedious process. When editing, you can get creative, but remember, sometimes less is more. Before adding music, effects, and menus to your video, you'll want to cut out everything that you don't want to keep. This involves watching your video through in its entirety, which can be a timely process, but it's well worth it because it'll lead to a better movie watching experience later.
Editing software today is loaded with special effects like filters, animations, transitions, overlays, and a whole lot more that may dazzle you at first. These are used frequently on sport channels, reality shows, and commercials that are supposed to dazzle you. But you probably aren't making one of these. You're making a movie. How would you like to watch a movie and see a transition like these every time the camcorder was started? The people in Hollywood who make movies won't add something that takes away from their story. Neither should you.
There's nothing wrong with using a swinging bell animation to begin your wedding video or a flying heart to end it, but you won't want to use this on every single cut. If you want to use something flashy, use it at the beginning of your video, or at the end of your movie, or for the DVD menus. If you followed our suggestion to give a brief narrative of who, where, and when at the beginning of each recording session, you won't need to necessarily use descriptive titles over your video. This certainly doesn't mean you can't use them. They can always be used to tell something that was missed while recording.
If you're editing a family vacation, you can add informative comments about the different monuments, buildings, and sites. When choosing the color of your overlay text, you'll probably want to experiment to see what looks the best. But remember, with the exception of stills added, the text must be readable over the video that constantly changes colors. And for consistency, you probably want to use the same format each time you state something new. With that said, the color that stands out the most when overlaying text on most video is bright yellow, and maybe with a dark edge or shadow to emphasize it even more. After creating a title overlay, watch it through on the video and make sure it holds long enough to read, but don't let it hang out there forever. Again, adding a flashy effect will only distract your audience. Use subtle transitions to bring in and take out your text.
Unlike visual effects, sound effects can be very helpful in telling your story. Hollywood filmmakers use music to help set the mood for their scenes, and so should you.
If you are on a beach where the wind is blowing so strong that you can't hear anything else, you can mute the audio and can add your favorite island tune. Even if you have to cut the song short, it'll be far better than the original audio.
You can use your favorite holiday music to add warmth to a long scene of a family gathering. When adding background music, remember to make sure the music doesn't drown out what the people are saying.
Appropriate music with still photos or 8mm film is always better than silence.
If you are talking about someone who is not present, you can add a photo so they're included in whatever activity you're having. For example, a birthday is being recorded, but the father of the birthday girl is serving military duty outside of the country. With the growing popularity of digital cameras, you can combine the photos and movies you take on your next vacation. In fact, with a photo scanner or digital camera, you can make a video entirely made up of photographs. Sure, a lot of people still like to go through dusty albums and boxes, but you may prefer to just drop a disc into a DVD player and watch your photos set to music. We've just given you a few examples. You can use stills in any number of situations. It's really up to what works best in your home movies.
Designing a DVD with a menu will allow you to select certain points or titles in the movie that you can skip to while watching. For example, if you're editing a wedding ceremony, here's how one might set up the titles. As with any movie, always have the first title start at the beginning of the movie and include all the pre-ceremony activities, followed by the guests arriving, the ceremony, the photo session, and the reception. A menu can give you an avenue for releasing that creative movie producer inside that you may have suppressed while editing your movie. With a menu, you can really go crazy if you want. Here are a few things to consider when creating a menu. A still thumbnail is an image that represents a frame at the beginning of the title. A motion thumbnail will represent several seconds of the movie to give you a better idea of what is on the title. Text can describe what the title is about, or a combination of these can be used. A flat color doesn't give much flair. A motion background can be nice as long as it fits the content of your movie. Using a few several-second clips can really personalize your menu.
Some software gives you the option to view the movie first instead of going through the menu. This will allow you to automatically view your movie when you put it in the DVD player instead of having to go through the menu. Okay, you've created your first DVD. What's next? The first thing you want to do is watch it through in its entirety. If there are no problems and you're satisfied with the outcome, then make an extra copy and delete the file from your computer.